Alright, so after we just read the first paragraph here, do you have any questions, comments? How can we talk to the text for this one? Is there something that you already knew about for this one?
Hammurabi Code.
Alright, Code of Hammurabi. Now if we click on that, it gives us the definition. Collection of laws put together by the Amorite king Hammurabi. The laws applied equally to everyone in the kingdom, and they were placed in public places so everyone would know what they were. So I'm going to click on Famous Laws, and tell me what you know about Hammurabi's code.
There's
Eye for an eye.
for an eye.
There's
There's
something else.
Yeah, an eye for an eye.
So Brian thinks that there's 200
Something
or
No,
more
2,000.
laws.
No, wait.
50,000?
Yeah, look, about 200.
That's the year.
Oh.
What else do we know about Hammurabi's code? You guys gave me an example, so I'm going to put that in quotes. Eye for an eye.
Go.
What does that mean, an eye for an eye?
Get rid of it. If you take someone's eye out, you get your eye taken out. If you cut someone else's hand off, you get your hand off.
If you cut
person's arm off, your arm gets cut off.
you cut someone's
But
head off,
that's
you
if
get cut
it's the king there cutting it off, you're dead.
Oh, so there's different levels?
Yeah, there's different stages. I know what it's called.
Hammurabi.
I forget what it's called too. There's like
Anything else you want to add about Hammurabi's code?
no, there's a song about it.
There's a song about it, and Mr. Plum played it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listened to it last night.
Really? That wasn't about Hammurabi's code.
Yeah. It's not the whole entire thing.
No,
It's about Sumeria.
Yeah, and it said Hammurabi's code.
Alright, so there's a song on YouTube.
Because you go, uh-oh.
So we'll just include that. That includes
Whole of Sumeria.
Hammuri.
Alright? Was there anything in there you wanted to see a definition of?
Yes.
What word would you like to see?
I'm still got with Babylon.
What does this word say?
Villagers.
Conquerors.
Conquerors. Let's look at the definition for conquerors.
Directly conquered someone.
Definition.
Down at the bottom there. Someone who is victorious by force of arms.
I will conquer.
So they use things, right, to try to conquer them.
I will conquer.
Highlight conquerors. Alright, next paragraph. Please read it, Dakota. And Stephen, would you like to point?
Sure.
Careful.
What? I said it?
You're going to read.
No, where are we
Ready? Go ahead.
These laws made it so that everyone knew the law and the punishment for breaking those laws. The code was also allowed women to own properties and set tax price levels. Hammurabi ruled for 42 years, from 1792 to 1750 BC.
Is 42 years a long time for someone to be a ruler?
Yes.
Yeah.
But not as long as
Okay. They said several years until he was overthrown. But 42 years, think about that. How long does a typical presidency for the United States last? 4 years. And Hammurabi, and they can be reelected, so that could be 8 years, which just happened. So Hammurabi ruled for 42 years.
You get reelected.
Imagine him for a
So that would be, if Ryan started to rule right now, how old are you? How old are you? So let's say Ryan's 12, and he's going to start ruling today.
Yeah.
How old would he be and he's still ruling? 42 years. Do the math.
How old are you?
12 subtracted by
12, and then 42 years added on to 12 would be how much?
54.
50. So Ryan would be 54 years
Yeah.
old, right?
He'll be ruling more than.
That's a long time. So let's review our notes. Can you point to the note on the side? Let's look at what we wrote for the Code of Hammurabi. Eye for an eye, 200 or more. If you cut someone's hand off, then you get your hand cut off. There's a song on YouTube that includes Hammurabi's code. Alright. Next page. Shane, go ahead.
Start even with live with
Hittites.
powerful warriors
Capital.
capital city was
Hattusa.
This large city was 3,000 feet above sea level and was protected by a ring of mountains.
These can be
Mountains.
mountains. Good. Looks like charades.
And the storm stone wall got to have been 26 feet thick.
Imagine a wall 26 feet thick
That's big.
that they would have to get through if someone wanted to overcome their city.
That's a big.
Does anyone want to talk to the text there at all? Ryan, was there anything there you wanted to, a definition? Do you want to add anything, a connection?
Why would they have, if they were protected by mountains, why would they have a 26-foot thick wall? There's no point, they're protected by mountains.
No, you just have lots of. You can just have the wall around the mountain. Go through the mountain.
That would
Or
be
they could have
hard.
archers right on top.
Get out of here.
Alright, so there's Ryan's question. Now remember, if I click on mountains again, I can start a discussion. So what were you saying to Ryan? Let's continue this
I
discussion.
said that they could have just built the walls into the mountain. They have archers
It
just
would
sitting
take
at the
forever.
top.
So,
Probably nice one is building a wall.
Like
The
a troll.
mountains could have been the wall.
The troll.
Hey, but they could probably build in.
Watch like a troll be like mining it.
with people to protect
Gold. Yeah.
there.
And look, there's gold in there.
Anyone else want to add anything?
And it's a diamond.
Remember, when we add something, we want to address what his question was, which was, why would they have such a thick wall?
Maybe
Why would they have such a thick wall if they had mountains?
maybe it was because there was other people
When I go hanging out.
living there, like around it, and they like to try to get their city. So they just built a 26 feet thick wall, which makes sense
True. Like a millennium later.
So they built a wall for what?
for
More.
protection.
Yeah.
Like our century.
So the chances that they got through the mountains, there be
Slim.
something else to protect them, right? Keyboard down, submit. Now you can see our discussion here, right? I'm gonna click out of that. Okay, yeah.
And the people up in the mountains, or the mountains, they settle up there, so they know the mountains well. So if they have archers, they'll know where people are.
So if other people lived there, they would know how to navigate around the mountains to
Yeah.
get to the
And
wall.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And then, like,
So if I had to choose some words to describe the Hittites, what words did you see that we read could I highlight to describe the Hittites?
Warriors.
they're awesome.
Let's use an adjective there, warriors. Powerful. What color would you like?
Green.
Green. Because green is a very powerful color.
No red.
No, purple. That's well. No, that's well.
Red means
That's good, you remember that from class. Who would like to read next?
me.
Yeah.
Haters. Right?
Hittites. They were probably haters. Okay, take 10 seconds to laugh. Ready? Okay.
The haters,
Hittites.
Hittites, were the first people to use
A treaty.
treaty to settle a dispute.
Before we read on, let's look up what treaty means. Does anyone think they know?
I know it.
Alright, let's guess.
It's a treaty for peace, like so they wouldn't get attacked.
Okay, you agree? Yes?
Once they get treaty, they get it, if they sign it and stuff, they can they still have, like they can't attack each other anymore.
Alright, let's look up treaty.
It's still videotaping.
Thank you.
Google it.
There we go. Down at the bottom. A written agreement between two states or sovereigns. So it was an agreement, right? And we're going to find out who they signed the treaty with. Go ahead, keep reading. Hittite.
Oh my. Hittites.
King. Hittite king.
King Hittites.
Hittite king.
King Hittites.
That's silly.
This is so good.
We'll call him King H. The third.
King H the third signed a treaty with Egypt.
Egyptian
King
Ramses.
II.
Second.
He's in the Bible too.
In 1284 BC.
1284 BC. And the historic treaties, both civilizations agreed not to attack each other and protect each other from if attacked by another civilization.
So it was the Hittites and who?
Egyptian.
Alright, so
Ramses.
what do you think it means by when they say historic treaty? Let's discuss that. What do you think they mean by that?
It was historic since they're not alive now, and we don't use
it was because
that now.
Because it was 100 years ago.
What were you going to say, Shane?
because they might have been fighting a lot, and then finally they just said that we should be doing this anymore.
That's good, because I make the six letters with us. Because they might have been fighting a lot, and then they said, why don't we just have peace? What also would make it historic?
100 years ago.
I think millions.
So Dakota said
100,000 years ago.
happened in the past is another way to talk about historic, but in this case it means it was pretty
Oh, and I know something.
pretty
Right.
important.
I know
Okay.
something.
Yes, go ahead.
Ramses was a Greek god. Well, is a Greek god.
What did they decide? What did they write about in the treaty? Because Shane said they decided that they wouldn't fight anymore, but they also decided something that's very important. What was the second thing?